Snow White and her prince spent nearly every day together, but one morning the prince told Snow that he had an errand to take care of. He saddled his trusty steed, Astor, and bid Snow White farewell. That afternoon Snow White spotted a cloud of dust on the road. Astor was returning, but where was the prince? Snow White's tender heart filled with dread. Surely the prince is in trouble, she thought. Astor stamped her hoof on the ground and nodded towards her empty saddle. "Do you want me to go get on?" Snow White asked. Again Astor nodded. The princess barely had time to sit down before Astor was racing down the road towards the forest. Astor ran deeper into the woods, with Snow White tugging uselessly at the reins. If only she knew that the prince was safe. Then suddenly Snow White spotted a piece of red cloth caught in a sharp thorn. Could it be? It was. A scrap torn from the prince's very own riding cloak. And that wasn't all. They continued through the forest. Snow White found the hat dangling from a tree. The princess grabbed the reins in one hand. She clutched the princess's hat and tried collectively. Finally, they emerged into a sunny clearing, and Astor showed the top. Snow White spotted the prince lying on the ground. She slipped out of the saddle and raced across to the clearing, breathlessness. Snow White reached the prince just as she sat up and stretched. "What a nice nap," he said. "I hope you're hungry." Snow White was bewildered. Next to the prince lay a lavish picnic spread out on a soft blanket, and he was happy and healthy as ever. "I knew Astor would get you here quickly," the prince said, beaming. "Tell me, are you surprised?" Snow White paused for a moment to catch her breath. "Oh, yes, very surprised," she said, at last smiling. She picked up an apple and offered it to Astor. "And," she added, "I'm very glad to have such a dear and clever horse."